Hi, and welcome to Dear Andy, where even during the week, when college basketball crowns its national champion, we answer your college football questions because we know that's the sport you really care about. This week's first question comes from Thomas Bertling, and Thomas asks, which teams and/or conferences stand to gain the most and least from the new playoff? Well, Thomas, I know I just bagged on college basketball, but I would take a look at this weekend. Why, it's a 4-team tournament involving 2 SEC teams that ends up in Jerry World. That probably sounds a little like what's going to happen in January. I would say the SEC probably stands to gain the most from the playoff because from 2009 to 2013, the SEC would have had at least 2 and maybe 3 teams in 2012, but at least 2 teams every year except 2010. That means the SEC is probably in a good spot. The other league that could really stand to benefit is the Pac-12. Think about how good Oregon and Stanford have been the past 4 years and how many national title shots that's gotten them. 1 combined, Oregon in 2010. That's it. One of those 2 teams would have been in the playoff pretty much every year. Leagues that might not benefit, if the Big Ten doesn't get better, it may have a hard time getting teams into the playoff, and then when it does, getting into the championship game. There's going to be some competition for those 3rd and 4th playoff spots. I think the SEC is going to wind up getting 2 in a lot of the first few years of the playoffs, but this stuff is very cyclical, and you never know who might benefit in the future. Our next question comes from Trevor, and Trevor asks, 2 early Heisman candidates? Winston? Mariota? Who else? Well, Trevor, recent history has told us this is way too early to start talking about Heisman candidates because the last few years it's been a guy coming out of nowhere. So let's take a look at some of the guys we know are going to be on our list. Jameis Winston from Florida State won it last year. Marcus Mariota from Oregon, shockingly low vote total despite a great season. And I think people are going to want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he got royally stiffed in the balloting last year. Here's the thing, we know all those guys. So let's talk about some true freshmen that are in quarterback competitions right now. Will Grier at Florida. I'm not sure he's going to beat out Jeff Driscoll for the starting job. Also not sure Florida's going to flip that 4-8 record into something that would make the quarterback Heisman worthy. Texas A&M, freshman Kyle Allen competing against sophomore Kenny Hill. Kenny Hill just got arrested for public drunkenness. He's suspended indefinitely. That gives Allen a big advantage in the competition. But let's go to the wild card. Jacob Coker, who's just a regular student right now at Florida State University, but who in May will transfer to Alabama as a graduate student and be eligible to play immediately for the Crimson Tide. Now, Coker still has to win the Alabama job, but this is a guy who came very close to Jameis Winston in the Florida State quarterback competition last year. So if you're going to Vegas and you want to make the big bet, that might be the guy. Our final question this week comes from Carl, and he asks, for game day experiences, which college football stadiums make your Final Four? Number 4, Oregon. 60,000 people have no business being that loud. When they start cranking up Wolf Mother and the defense needs to make a stop, it is about as good of a college football experience as you're going to find. Number 3, Clemson. The best entrance in America, coming down the hill, touching the rock, and the whole day is just a blast. The people know how to party, they get loud, they don't act like an ACC crowd, let's put it that way. Plus, bonus for Clemson, there are no other stadiums in America where you pass 1, a legal moonshine stand, and 2, a great barbecue joint on the way in from the interstate. Number 2, Alabama. If you're a college football fan and you love the tradition and the sorority girls getting dressed up and fans that go absolutely crazy, I'm not sure you can beat Alabama. But, number 1, take all that SEC magic, add a dash of whatever your favorite brown liquor is, and you got LSU. This place always seems to be teetering on the edge of oblivion. People are going crazy from, about Thursday afternoon on. You walk around the stadium before the game, you're going to see people deep frying pretty much everything. Every animal, every fish, fowl, whatever. And it's all delicious. You might see a mother-daughter beer pong tournament. I did see one of those before the 2012 Alabama game. And then you get into the stadium and it's this cauldron of energy and noise. And you got the students on one side and the band and the Golden Girls. And oh, by the way, visiting team, here's a live tiger to run by. So yeah, you add all that up and you get college football's best atmosphere at LSU. the national champ in that respect. For SI.com, I'm Andy Staples.